Hello there, Commonwealth from here. 2022 has been the year of the great announcements and confirmations for 2023 that will be historic and change everything for Nintendo, Mario, and indeed The Legend of Zelda, where the Link statue at Nintendo Live 2022 is just a taste of what is in store. As in 2023, Nintendo will finally reap what they have been actively preparing since 2018. The completion of the first step of expanding Nintendo from the world of video games to being the new Disney with help from Universal. So be sure to leave a like, subscribe and press the notification bell, and let's get into the most important Nintendo year probably ever. 2022 has been the release year of mostly non-Nintendo developed games, exclusives and studios owned by Nintendo, and where Nintendo has maintained a break on their own new in-house releases since March 2020. So much so that there are no mainline Zelda or Mario releases in 2022, new games, remakes or remasters. That is about to change in 2023, something we can already see from late 2022. Zelda is ready to smash all kinds of records with Tears of the Kingdom, and its marketing is now in full swing as seen at Nintendo Live, and its gameplay of restoration promises to combine the best of the past and present, while Mario is finally entering theaters for the first time in the form it should have always been, animated. Both experiences were delayed out of 2022, but for a very good reason, to maximize the trinity that Nintendo is working on, specifically for Super Mario, movie, Super Nintendo World Hollywood, and potentially new game 6 years after Super Mario Odyssey. The pandemic caused Japan to remain closed until the day of this upload, when the gates to Nihon are once again open for us gaijins. But the 2.5-year-long closing of the borders to foreign visitors has completely erased the global effects and profits that Nintendo expected from the opening of Super Nintendo World in Osaka. Hence 2022 for Mario couldn't become what they wanted, and with the delay of the Super Mario Bros. Movie worldwide to spring 2023 by late April 2022, it was clear that this was not Nintendo's own, but rather their system's Nintendo Switch's year, where the open world Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is the grand climax on November 18. 2023, however, is the year, as after Fire Emblem Engage and third-party plus re-releases February, from late March, so the end of Nintendo's fiscal year, 2023 is the year of Nintendo's in-house IPs. Starting with the Mario movie? Yes, first premiering in France on March 29th, with releases in North America on April 7th and Japan on April 28th, all fittingly half a month or more away from the release of the so far biggest Nintendo game confirmed for 2023. The 20th Zelda game, Tears of the Kingdom. Releasing on May 12th, the game will end the longest wait for a new Zelda title, with a game that is set to break records with the current Nintendo Switch install base. An easy Game of the Year candidate and winner that with its gameplay in the existing open world, new sky and underground sections is set to change the world we know while expanding greatly vertically. Needless to say, this game will sell like no other Nintendo release in 2023 in Western markets, since Zelda for some reason with its complex gameplay and open world design is not as popular in Japan. Nintendo's home country, where Splatoon, Animal Crossing, Mario and more are still far more popular than Zelda, and to be honest, I don't expect that to change. But Zelda is Nintendo's chance to move a little away from the near monopoly they enjoy in the land of the rising sun to the highly competitive and profitable Western market. Especially with the Japanese yen not performing so hot in 2022 compared to the different dollars and euro at least. Hence 2023 is about breaking new records in the West, and a year that we Nintendo fans in Oceania, Europe and North America will eat well, including in the cinema. Since the Super Mario Bros. Movie has gained far more traction in the West than in Japan. The same goes for The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, and this is a clear sign that 2023 is our year. Around the same time as the Mario movie and Zelda's release, and probably before E3 2023, Super Nintendo, or for now Mario World Hollywood, is opening, and with it removing the need to fly to Osaka for tens of millions of Americans that summer. A sigh of relief for sure for Japan, but also another example of Nintendo's priority of the West, so us in 2023. And this is before Nintendo has even brought up a single new announcement or return of long-gone announcements for that year. Since the first Nintendo Direct of 2023 looks to be even more packed than the one we had in September 2022, with far more on Zelda, but with the Mario movie right around the corner, also likely ending the silence on new Mario games from Nintendo. Yes, the successor to Super Mario Odyssey after 6 years of waiting, and which might tie into the movie which we are only showing images of to not get claimed by Universal again. Glad I'm not a movie or music focused YouTuber, since that is a true copyright hell. Either way, with the premiere of the Mario movie at the end of March and throughout April, it is clear that the ideal moment to reveal a new 3D Mario adventure is in a January, February or March Nintendo Direct, depending on when Nintendo thinks it has been long enough since the September 13 Direct. Now, tie-in movies are almost non-existent for video game movie adaptations, though 2022 Sonic Frontiers is kind of tied to Sonic 2, as it comes out in the same year. But what if right before the Mario movie, a potential tie-in game is revealed in the first Nintendo Direct of the year? Not only that, it has been kept back, just like actual Zelda Tears of the Kingdom gameplay, due to not spoiling the movie for one, but secondly, and this one is very hypothetical, new hardware. Now, I'm not saying that the Nintendo Switch is being succeeded by a new system come Nintendo's new fiscal year, but rather that Nintendo might follow their 2-year new model pattern and deliver an upgraded model that is catered to the market which they are not dominating to the same degree as Japan, the Euro and English-speaking hemisphere, which is still heavy into TV gaming unlike Japan. What do I mean by that? That the bigger island nation has for the last 5 years been exclusively a mobile and handheld gaming market. There, the Nintendo Switch is almost exclusively used as a handheld, and as such the two models we have seen released thus far, the Lite and OLED, have almost exclusively been catered for the Japanese audience. A market which, bear in mind, has only 125 million inhabitants with a steep population decline in the coming years and heavy economic recession as we speak. A country which, despite its high tech, is struggling compared to the ever-growing USA with its 333 million inhabitants and stronger than ever US dollar. No doubt, the next Switch model has only one way to go. Upgrade the performance of the Switch when docked to a TV to catch up some of the massive gap that exists to the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series consoles. In other words, make the Switch more attractive to Western consumers, or more specifically, get them to upgrade their current model, all aimed at bringing us ever closer to bringing the Switch to the impossible sales of the Nintendo DS and PlayStation 2, which are approximately at 150+ million units. Hence, 2023 is a crossroad for Nintendo, the Nintendo Switch, Super Mario, and Zelda. So here's my theory as to what might happen shortly after we enter 2023. Nintendo, after keeping more footage and trailers of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom and any new 2023 game reveals away, and finally reveal the reason behind their weird behavior. Starting the first Direct of the year with the most powerful and final model added to the Nintendo Switch family of systems. The one that will make our games look and run better when docked onto their successor in 2025 or early 2026. Boom, cut to its May 12th launch, same day and date as Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, running in native 1080p in-game with HUD to make it clear that this is the way to play this game. Oh, and probably along with a Zelda Direct in April, detailing the game with a number of surprises. Then going through other games that will take advantage of this new model, including Pikmin 4, until reaching the one last thing of this presentation, just like Tears of the Kingdom in September 2022. The new Mario game, running on our TVs in upscaled 4K, and if it is the tie-in game, looking as close as it can to the animation found in the movie, or alternatively, it is a 1080p 60 frames per second open world Mario game. No matter what it is, this is the holiday game that is the reason as to why Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is not getting a dedicated booth at E3 2023, but potentially at PAX East at the end of March. Instead, just like in 2017, that one is dedicated to the new Mario game, but this time running on the already out top model Nintendo Switch in Nintendo's booth. All preceded by a digital E3 presentation / Direct, which reveals more details on Zelda Tears of the Kingdom DLC, Pikmin 4, ends by confirming the release date of the new Mario game for October or later, and finally, after 6 years of waiting from its announcement, brings back Metroid Prime 4, which ends with a 2024 release window. And that, ladies and gentlemen, along with some other announcements, is how Nintendo will take the Western gaming and movie and theme park world by storm before we even end E3 2023 and depart June, my own birthday month. In other words, the silence from Nintendo's 3 oldest franchises, not counting Donkey Kong in 2022, could be there for a really good reason. Namely, deliver brand new games and movies in 2023, or in the case of Metroid, at least show us Metroid Prime 4 and give us Metroid Prime Remake. It is sad that we're not seeing any big mainline Mario or Zelda releases until December 31st. And in 2023 we'll most likely focus on the big new game for each of these franchises. But that is good news, especially for us in this channel, since I'm returning to Japan with Nintendo to visit Super Nintendo World in Osaka, Nintendo Kyoto and Nintendo Tokyo until December 6th to make it back for the Game Awards 2022. So follow us on Twitter for meetups if you live or visit any of the 3 cities. Anyway, for us Western Nintendo fans, 2023 looks to be more than great, and as such you should like this video, subscribe and press the notification bell for countless Nintendo, Mario and Zelda videos in the rest of 2022 and throughout 2023. And big thanks as always goes to all of you for watching until the end, and to all our patreon.com/comearound patrons, and in particular to our role producer Charles Shush. You rock, and please enjoy one or both of these two awesome videos.